everyone, in today's video I'm gonna walk you through how you'll be able to set up BlogVault on your WordPress website and why you even need to do that in the first place. And also I'll be showing you how much BlogVault can save you and your website, whether you're running a business website, a WooCommerce website, or whatever website that you have, in order that it will save those data that you gather, that you don't have that problem where something goes wrong along the way. BlogVault has sponsored today's video and I want to thank them for sponsoring today's video. Companies like this and others that sponsor these videos actually help me to show you things that I would otherwise would not be able to show you. And again, I want to thank them again and thank you obviously for watching this tutorial. Now there would be a link down in the description of this video if you wish to check out BlogVault, which I would highly recommend you to do so. But other than that, I want to tell you how much BlogVault will be able to save you. It's because they work with some of big companies around the world, such as Intel, eBay, just to name a few. Now, as you can see here, it's quite a big intro, but it's a very important for me to tell you that they have a very high standards of actually backing up your website, and they're not doing only one backup. They're doing a multiple backup, meaning they take one backup and one server, then they copy this data to another server in order that nothing will go wrong with your website in case you need this backup to restore some files, to delete some files, and so on. Not even mentioning that it is an enterprise grade data security, meaning you're in a good hands. Now, one more thing that is really important for me to emphasize is that it is not only for backup, it is also for migration, for staging websites, and you'll be able to see throughout this tutorial how you'll be able to use different features of BlogVault if you wish to do so. Now, for your convenience, there are timestamps, so you'll be able to jump throughout this tutorial to the part that you need. But other than that, let's dive right in. First things first, we'll have to sign up or log in, but if you don't have an account yet, just head over, sign up. It doesn't cost you anything, just can do that for free. In my case, I'll head over and log in. Now, once you've logged in, you'll be able to see here, we're greeted with, hey, welcome to BlogVault. And here, the first thing that I want to show you here is a little bit of orientation, what you have here. As you can see here, we have the dashboard, which currently right now would not show us anything except my email or your email. Once you sign up or log in to BlogVault, you'll be able to see here that we have an interface similar, or if not the same, as you'll be able to see in other videos throughout my YouTube channel, such as Airlift, Malcare, and of course this tutorial and others. Now we can see here at a glance, and again, nothing here is populated yet, but we'll see in a few minutes how everything will be populated once we add our website. As you can see here, we have sites right here at the top, right next to dashboard. Now here, you guessed it, we'll have to press the add site button. So we just simply paste our URL here. In my case, it will be this website. Once you've entered your website URL, simply click continue. Once you've entered your website URL, the next thing that BlogVault tells you, as you might be able to see if you're familiar with Malcare or Airlift, it will ask us what do we prefer, whether it's to give our website credentials, the website admin and password to BlogVault, and it will do everything automatically for you if you're afraid to do something wrong along the way, which I'm sure there is nothing wrong with just installing and checking, but again, it's your own preference. As you can see here, we have the username and password, but if you prefer to do everything manually, BlogVault does give you that option. As you can see here, we have manual installation. You simply click download, you will download the BlogVault plugin to your PC or Mac, then you'll be able to upload it to your website. In my case, I've already went over and done that. As you can see here, I'll head over to my website, and we can see here, if I scroll to the bottom, we'll be able to see here right on my left sidebar, I'll be able to see the BlogVault over here. What I'll have to do is simply head over to BlogVault, and over there, I will have to insert my email, which the same thing will apply to you. Now, you'll enter your email, you'll have to obviously agree to the BlogVault's terms of service and privacy policy, and once you click submit, it will start to work its magic. It will start to gather all the data, back up all those files, images, what have you on your website, and create a full-fledged backup inside BlogVault. But in my case, I already have my website in the BlogVault ecosystem, so it already has those websites, and you can see your easywp.com already there. But before we'll head over to the dashboard, I just want to show you everything is oriented over here here on this screen. Now we can see a snapshot of our homepage over here. So you'll be able to, if you're managing a few websites for your clients, you'll be able to see your website or what website are you going to enter here. We can see here the security enabled. This one refers to malware, so it will scan your website, will see any vulnerabilities and so on. If you wish to see the full tutorial on malware, you'll be able to see that in one of the corners, right or left. I always forget which one it is, but it will be over there. And we can see here the backup enabled because this is BlogVault, so I've already enabled it, and we'll dive in a few minutes so you'll be able to see how many backups it's already done on my website. Now we can see here this site is up, so meaning it monitors my website whether it's down or up, and if anything happens, it will notify me via an email and will tell me, whoa, look, something happened to your website, but don't worry, they have some tools for that to fix that. Again, we'll see that in a few minutes. And we can see here we have no staging websites whatsoever. I'll show you exactly how to manage or do a staging website, and then you'll be able to check everything before it will go live or actually migrate it to a live website. But again, I'll show you that just in a few minutes. And as we can see here, plugins update available and themes 1 update available, which is great because you can see here everything at a glance. Everything is working, everything is fine. One more thing which is great about BlogVault, you can access the WP admin right from here, meaning you don't have to enter your website URL and then WP admin or whatever your website login URL. Now we can see here we can also start a fresh sync, and we can also see the site's history, and also if we want to see more details about our website, but in this case we'll head over and just click the website's name. Now right away it will redirect us to our dashboard. We can see here how many backups have been done so far, how many megabytes or gigabytes or whatever the size of the website is being synced. It's by day, meaning every day they are doing a full backup of your website to see if anything changes or anything needs to be corrected. Again, we'll dive into that just in a minute. And we can see here it's synced 13 hours ago, meaning it does that during the night, that nothing would interrupt the backup. Now we can see here on the left, again, the image, the snapshot of your website, the name of the website, the URL of the website. We can see here the PHP version, and we can see here the plans. Now, if you're in the free plan, again, it will be in the free one, but I have here the plus, so I'll be able to show you all the features of BlogVault. Now we can add some tags, but I just prefer to leave that as an empty one. We can see here everything at a glance. We can see the WordPress version. We can see how many plugins do I have, how many active, because sometimes you want to check plugins here and there to see if they're good or not. So we can see here I have total of 15, and then 15 are active. We can see here how many things do I have. I have 3 flocks, and I have other if I'll need to change or tweak something here and there to check the version or to check any errors of a sort if I wish to. But I think 1 or 2, the one main theme, and then the other one is a child theme. But again, that's my own preference. Now we can see here I have 1 user, which is me, and how many admin users, again, only me. And we can see here the client, auto update, notifications, and so on. You'll be able to see specifically in BlogVault, we can see here the files synced, how many files has been synced and how many files are actually there. Now we can see also the tables synced, and we can see here also the size. We can manage each one of those, and we can see here every of those buttons are actually clickable. So if you wish to deep dive into each one of those, by all means, go ahead and do so. Now, if we scroll to the top, we can see here any notes do I want to add to this specific website, because again, this dashboard will apply to all the websites that you wish to connect to BlogVault Malware or to the whole ecosystem of BlogVault Malware and so on. Now we can see here also the security and firewall. I can see here my site is clean. I have a firewall enabled. Again, this is connected to Malware, and again, the tutorial would be in one of those cards up above. Now I have also a snapshot of the plugins and themes, WordPress and all. How many things do I have to update? I can see here I have 2025 theme of WordPress that I have to update. Elementor Pro I just updated, so I think I'll have to do a refresh, and then it will show me that everything is great, except the theme. I'll have to update that a little later. Now if we scroll to the bottom, we have a reporting. Currently there's nothing to report or nothing has been scheduled, so I see that it's fine. And I have the advanced monitoring, meaning the uptime since March 29th at 3:07 p.m. everything is up. Nothing has been wrong with my website, which is great because, you know, sometimes you're running, you're doing your thing, and you're not actually seeing what actually is happening happening with your website. So this is a great feature that this is just mind-blowing, because you're not always on the clock and you're not always with your hand on your pulse to see if something went wrong with your website. So this is a good indicator. We can see here also the visual regression if something happened, the page content. Currently I don't have any content because I'm still building my website. And we can see here the domain a month ago, SSL 3 hours ago, everything is perfect. Form testing, this is new. Also the advanced monitoring is new. Now if we'll head over to the right column over here, again the notes, nothing has been added. And the staging, currently I don't have any staging websites for this, but we'll create a new one just in a few minutes to show you exactly how that works. We have the WP activity log. We can see here something has been updated, and that's what I was talking about. We can see here the Elementor Pro 3.28.3. As we can see here, I just updated it. WP core update, WP backup and security. This is exactly the BlogVault plugin. I was updating before doing the tutorial itself, so it will actually be up and running. We can see here also all the other that has been updated, just like, you know, like a log for keeping all those stuff to see what actually happened. We can see here through the days. Now this was 70 minutes ago, this was 4 days ago, 9 days ago, 1925 a month ago, and so on. And we can see here also the performance, which is currently in beta. Again, this is using Airlift, which I'd highly recommend you to do so. This is a great plugin to just speed up your website and to get the 98, 99 score in the Google page speed. So if you want to, again, the tutorial would be one of the cards up above me. Also, we have Google Analytics. I haven't connected it yet to Google Analytics over here, but you get the point. Now, what happens if I want to see or do anything with the backups? As we can see right here in this box, I have the restore, migrate, and details. So let's head over to the details and let's discover that together. Now, as we can see here, currently I have 37 backups. I can see the file size, I can see when it was last synced, and the sync frequency is 1 per day. We can see here my total files is 16.97 thousand or 16,970 so on files. We can see here 5 files has been ignored, 75 tables in total, and we can see here 20 tables were ignored. And we can see here the backup stats. I have one over here, synced, and per day. We can see that. I think it's a cool feature, personal opinion on that. And we can see here also the ignored, synced, and we can see here that 5 has been ignored, and we can see that all throughout this stat. We can see that over here, nothing has been synced on the 24th of April, but that's fine with me. Now, you might be asking, what are those buttons? What I do here? How do I restore website? How do I back up? What is happening here? Now, before I do that, one thing that is really important for me to mention is that I haven't mentioned that before, but once you sync your website with BlogVault the first time, it will automatically take a full backup of your website to BlogVault in order to show you that everything is actually working and everything backed up. Now that it is out of the way, let's begin by backing up manually our website. Currently it's on 37, but let's back up over here. Now, once I hover this button, you'll be able to see here my last backup was 13 hours ago, same as we can see here. And also next backup is in 11 hours. So simply click backup. Now we can see here we can add a message or a note for this specific backup, and you can do that to all the backups whatsoever. Once that is done, simply click OK. Now it will head over and create a full backup, and we can see here backup in progress. And once it is done, it will show us the following. And as we can see here, now we have 38 backups. So we can see here also the last synced was 3 minutes ago, and also sync frequency was 1 day. Nothing here changed, but we'll get back to all those buttons in a few minutes. I want to show you where all those backups are living. So we can see here under the backup stats, we'll head over to show all backups. Now over here, we'll be able to see the full backup and what it was backed up, when it was backed up, what time it was backed up. As I told you, it is during the morning. We can see here 5:38 a.m., 5:40 a.m., and 5:40, and so on. We can see here around this time, it does a full backup of your website. And we can see here everything that has happened over here. We can see it is clean, or the security over here, the backups, upload, download, test and restore, and migrate the performance. We can see here the page speed 71, load time, and so on. We can see here the WordPress version, and we can see that if we scroll up, we can see here that every time the version is going up, meaning everything is being done by BlogVault. It's keeping my website up and running. We can see here the core update over here. I haven't touched it for a few days, you can say that, but we can see here the BlogVault took care of that very well. Now we can see all those things. For example, file sync, we can view that over here, and we can see all the files over here if you wish to. Now we can see here what files has been skipped by the red line over here. We can see here the error log. Synced files would be with green, but mainly these are the files. And we can see here also WP admin, WP content, WP includes, and well known. Now let's head over back. We can see here one of the backups, everything was caught up, nothing to update, but again, it did a new backup. Still Well, it was on 2nd of May. Now, if we want to add a note, we can add a note to each one of those backups. But again, this is down to your preferences. And we can see here the test backup for the tutorial is living right over here beneath the website URL. One more thing, you don't have to necessarily scroll and search for a specific backup. Now, there are pages over here, but if you want to, and you know exactly to pinpoint where your website was up, you can navigate to the top right-hand corner right over here, right next to history over here, and choose the exact day, month, and year of the backup that you want to search for, and it will search for it. And if there is a backup from that time, it will fetch that and will show you exactly. Let's head over back, and I want to show you all those beautiful buttons and what they can do. We can see here we have the migrate. If we want to migrate our website to a specific place, for example, if we press that, we can see here we want to use this specific backup over here from 6:30 p.m. on 2nd of May 2025, and we want to migrate to a destination of URL, specifically it's this URL. But before we do so, we'll need to provide the FTP details. We can see here the FTP host server, port, FTP type, the username, password, and to select a specific folder. And we can also see your database credentials, select migrate, specifically migrate files, migrate tables, everything. If you're migrating your website, you want to choose all the files, I assume. If not, then it's down to your own preferences. We can see here the advanced options. We can see here the file permissions, copy all permissions, connecting destination server, name server, and server IP. Now, it will do all the heavy lifting for you. So this is just a crazy feature. Only that is just like mind-blowing for me. But again, we can see here, this is the migration backup. Now, if we'll head over back and we'll head over here, we have also the auto restore. For example, I want to restore a specific backup of my choice. I'll just simply click that. And then over here, I want to change the backup version. So for example, I want to change it to, let's say, yesterday. Okay, so let's click the change over here. And then over here, I have a list of backups that I can choose from. For example, let's do it for yesterday's, okay, and then let's confirm it. And then over here, it won't change. We can see here it's still on 2nd, but here we can see here, this is the 5:30 a.m. So before I've done the updates for Elementor and for the BlogVault plugins on my website. So we'll see that just in a few minutes, but here we have selective restore. So we can restore all the files. If we click that, we'll be able to see what files are being restored. And if we don't want to restore something specific, you can simply uncheck that and then just confirm that. You'll be able to see here, it will change to custom selected files. Now I'll head over and select all, just that I wanted to show you how you'll be able to do exactly that. Now, the same applies with the tables. If there are specific tables that you don't want to restore, again, you can uncheck those and confirm that. Once more, you'll be able to see here how many tables would be restored. But again, I'll head over and select all of them. Now, there are advanced options over here, and under the advanced options, you'll be able to see here we have the file permissions. Now, copy the original file permissions to the destination server. If not checked, it will be set to 644 out of 755. I want to copy all permissions, and here this is specifically a beta feature. We can see here the retain latest post attachments pages. Now, I won't be going over with this one, but just so you know, this is still, I think, in development, or it will come up in the future, but this is a great feature. Now, we also have their pre-restored checks completed. I can't open it, but there are checks being made from BlogVault's side before you do a full restore backup. Now, if we continue, we can see here we have the continue button, or if you want to go back, you simply click go back. I'll click continue, and here it will head over and initialize the process, and we're able to see that it starts the restore, and we can see restoring the website URL to backup created on Friday, 2nd of May, 2025, 5:38 a.m. We can see it's initializing, and it will take just a few minutes or 10, 20, or whatever time it needs to, depending on your website's size. And we can see the steps that we'll have to go through. Currently, it's initializing. There is a pre-restore backup. There is a decrypting data. Now it's copying the files and then copying database and then finalizing. While it's doing its thing, one thing or just a few things that I want to mention here, that at every given time, you can also cancel the restoring of your website. You can return to the site details page. And also, if you close this page or something happened and your browser just crashed, don't worry, everything will continue from BlogVault's side smoothly, and everything will be migrated or backed up the way that it should. So let's just give it a few minutes, and then I'll be back when it's done. So as we can see here, the restoring site completed, and now we'll be able to return to site detail page. We'll also have your notification auto restore completed. We can see your auto restore has been completed and everything is fine. So let's head over and go back to our details over here. The next thing we have here is the button to upload our backups to Dropbox. So let's click that over here and we'll be able to see here, we'll be able to continue or to specifically give BlogVault an access to upload the backup to Dropbox if you wish to, but I don't have a necessity to do so. So I'll head over and click go back. Now over here, I have also an option to download a backup if I wish to. And over here, again, the same thing will apply. I will need to see what backup version do I want to download and for what specific URL. Click change. And again, we can choose from 38 backups that I did here. And once you choose that, just click confirm. Again, we can see here also the selective download. Again, you can download all the files or see what files you don't wish to download or what files you want to for this specific download of this backup. In this case, I'll head over with all the files and also all the tables. Just once you're done, click continue, and then we can see here it will prepare the backup, I assume through a zip file, and then you'll be able to download the backup to your PC or Mac. As we saw before, we'll be able to cancel the download backup at any time, but we can see here it's already done. And once it's done, just simply click download and then download it to your PC or Mac. Let's head over back, return to site details page, and then over here, let's head over back to our details. And then over here, the next thing we have here is also the test restore. And we can see here, once we click that, we can see here the backup version, the PHP version. Once again, we'll head over and click continue, but I think you get the point. In this case, I'll head over and go back. Now, a very important feature and very great feature that BlogVault has is that they have the real-time updates right in this section. Now, you might be wondering, well, okay, what's the difference between that and that? Well, if you're running a WooCommerce store or an e-commerce store, this is perfect. I explain to you why. Up till this point, all the backups are being done once a day. Now, this feature, what it allows you to do is that if there is an order that comes in or anything goes wrong with your website, then this real-time updates are actually there to save you. Now, I know all this feature and all the BlogVault, Malcare, and all this ecosystem is there to save you, but this specifically is a very powerful feature. Why? Because let's say there is an order that comes in and then right after this order, something crashes. Now, this is not a great thing. Why? Because if the last thing that you have is the backup from 5:30, 5:40 a.m. and there has been at least 10 or a few orders already in your website, and that's only that what you have through the day, and then you want to restore a backup to 5:30, 5:40 a.m., you won't be able to find those orders because they haven't been backed up. So this feature is actually only backing up those orders or those small changes that happens throughout the day, so you won't be missing anything. Again, this is just like wow. So again, it does not do a full backup every time that something changes. No, it just uploads backups, the specific little changes to this backup, so everything is all the time being backed up. And this is just like a no-brainer for me, because this is like, I know I currently don't have any products on my website, but trust me, if you do run a WooCommerce website, this is the feature for you. If we'll head over back to my website over here, we will see here that I have synced 22 minutes ago. Now, one more thing that I want to show you here is how you'll be able to check a backup before you push that back to live. Head over to all the details under the backups, and then over here, we'll head over to show all backups under backup stats. And then over here, we'll be able to scroll to 25th of April. Let's head over to our second page, then over here, 25th of April, and then over here under backups, head over test and restore. Once we click that, it will start to transfer everything to a specific staging website on BlogVault. So we'll be able to check everything to see if everything is working correctly the way we want it to, and then push it back to live if anything happened with our live website before we do all this process. And we can see here, while I was talking, everything is ready. We'll be able to see my username, my password, and then visit the test and restore. We'll be able to access WP admin just by clicking over here. We're able to see here, currently it's through Malcare, and we're able to see all the website over here. You are being redirected to the WordPress admin panel. It will take just a few seconds and then we'll be redirected to the WP admin. And then over here, we'll be able to see that everything has been restored over here. We can see here my WordPress version is 6.8.1 and needs to be updated to this version. And we can see here my Elementor is not currently connected, and I see here a few things that need to be updated. This is just a test just to show you that everything is working. Just to show you here, this is not my website URL. This is a stage website. So we'll head over back. Once you're happy with the backup, that you've seen it everything the way that you wanted to, then you'll be able to head over to the details, then head over to the auto restore over here, and then choose the backup that you wanted to, that you just tested over here. Click it, and then as we can see here, the pre-store checks has been running right over here, and we can see here we'll be able to restore all the files or just some of the files or the tables that I just show you throughout this tutorial. And then once you're done, click continue, and it will restore that backup that you just tested out. Now, one more thing that I want to show you here is how you'll be able to create a staging website. What you want to do is head over to the staging section right over here, add staging, and over here you want to check which backup do you want to. The same process would be here. You click the change over here, and then over here you'll be able to choose what backup. For example, let's add it from 25th of April, and let's head over, confirm that, and then also be able to choose what PHP version do I want to go with. This is specifically different than what we did through a restore. The restore was specifically to check that everything is the way that we wanted to. And here, if we want to set up a staging website, then over here, this is the place. Over here, we'll head over with what backup that we want to play around with, check things before we push it to live. We can see here we have from 5.6 to 8.2. As far as I know, for the time of recording this tutorial, 8.1, 8.2 is quite stable. I am not sure about the 8.3 and 8.4, but this is what I know so far. I'll head over with 7.4. This is a stable one for sure. I'll head over, click continue, and then we'll head over and create a staging website, so I'll be able to run with whatever changes that I want to before I push them to production. So you can see here there are a lot of features that BlogVault can give you right away, from backup, from staging websites, from restoring a backup, checking those backups, to downloading a backup, to see what changed through those backups, to actually see on real time what happened and back up those little things, those orders, everything just right away in your WooCommerce store to BlogVault, and everything would be encrypted in their servers. And again, this is not only one server, there are multiple servers, just to make sure so nothing goes wrong with your backup. We can see here my staging site is successfully set it up, and my staging website. And if we'll head over and click the WP admin over here, again, this will open up in a new tab, and then it will redirect me to the WP admin area. Then over here, as we can see, this is my website from current backup, as we can see right over here. So let's head over back to our BlogVault over here. Let's head over back to our site detail page. So in my case, I think BlogVault is a no-brainer, but again, this is my personal opinion, and I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter down in the comment section below. And the same thing goes, if you like this video, please comment down below if you want to see other features, other thing, you have any questions regarding that. And if you like this video, I'll be really glad to if you leave a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any tutorial that I post on this channel, whether it's on BlogVault, Malcare, Airlift, WooCommerce, Elementor, WordPress, or any other integration or plugin with WordPress. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next one.